Contrast this, again I am quoting the doctor's words, with that of a patient Y with a similar disease, except that he can afford private treatment. He is seen by the consultant the very next day and is investigated completely within a week. In a month's time, he has been operated upon and is on his way to speedy recovery. The treating doctor tells him he was lucky to have disease detected early and removed in time. What Abha Nagral is trying to say is that the priority of treating the patients should be on the basis of the condition of the patient and not he can pay the treatment or not. During this litigation before the High Court, in the respect of Apollo and various other hospitals, commissions were appointed to inspect the hospitals, these very private, public, charitable hospitals, to see whether this really complied with. So the reports were really astonishing, that as if that free center or that section is for second class citizens. I am not saying anything about the individual doctors, it is about the system which we are now living in. So it is the one argument is that we live in consumerist society and market principles guide all spheres of life including medical care. However, the very act of treating two individuals with a similar disease in a different way goes against the very scientific and ethical way. I was operated in my life only once, a very insignificant operation in a public charitable hospital. I was a judge, of course. You see, when the entire political class get free treatment, and then this is why with impunity the hospitals they breach the obligations to treat the patients free. So when I was there only for 3 days and I got a staggering bill. So and the doctor's portion, the doctor's fees in that bill were very, I must say that very less. My friends run a cooperative hospital in my schoolmates. They run a cooperative hospital in Sholapur. So just when I went to Sholapur and I mentioned that the bill was, so it's very high bill. So from what they said, I could see that for the same operation, it would have been much cheaper in Sholapur in a decent hospital, but the bill in Bombay hospital was 7 to 8 times higher than the bill which could be in a smaller hospital. So this discrimination is generated, and then the private investment has really brought about this change in the medical system. Now with this background, I mean there was a mention by Mr. Bhatnagar about the article in Frontline. I would like to tell you that please not only read Frontline but also read Tehelka, where a young journalist of Tehelka made a survey of the particular tribal area, and he wrote a report, and he died unfortunately while he contracted some disease while moving around with these tribals, and before his death he sent some excerpts of his report which were published in Tehelka. Now he said with a leftist slant. So when you talk of right to health as a constitutional right, what Frontline is saying, it's a constitutional right. It's a basic human right of an individual. So it's not with leftist stand, it's what the Constitution says. It is what the court says. It is what all the international treaties says. See, this one Mr. Henry Sigerist, a prominent medicine historian, says that health is one of the goods of life to which man has a right. Wherever this concept prevails, the logical sequence to make all measures for the protection and restoration of health to all free of charge. Medicine, like education, is then no longer a trade, it becomes a public function of the state. You take the international instruments like UDHR, ICESCR, CEDAW, then the right to child right, every instrument provide that the right to medical treatment is a fundamental human right. And then you will find that the general comment on this issued by the UN committee does not make any distinction between the private sector and the public sector. It is the duty of the state also to ensure that the private sector also delivers the basic health care in a reasonable way. Supreme Court has said that the right to life, the right to health is implicit in Article 21 of the Constitution of India. But how it happened, how this change occurred, and are you really watching this change? Because I don't find anywhere, I mean, your medical council is as good as defunct. I mean, I don't see any guidelines issued to the, for instance, on this discrimination between free and private patient. It is happening. I mean, let us face it. As there is court record to show that. What action is taken by the associations to ensure that it's a duty of the doctor to treat them on equal basis? So this particular journalist writes that there is one word which can describe the medical healthcare system in India, that is inequity. So we are really encouraging the unequal systems. It's not about we have the best of the doctors, most talented doctors, but they also work in a system which is prevailing now. Is it not correct that the many very efficient and competent doctors are leaving the public sector and joining the private sector with a very high salaries? There cannot be any complaint in about the high salaries which are given to them. But the question is whether there is any regulation which controls the private sector. There is utter lack of any regulation of the private sector today. The privatization which started in 80s, how the 1983 National Health Policy said that it should be in the private sector as well. The 65-year plan said that there should be growth in the private sector. The custom duties were slashed. Hospital is declared as an industry, and then it is said that it should be financed by the banks and the financial institutions. What ensued is a rapid and unregulated growth of the private sector. So privatization again coincided with the medical technology. At one time I remember that if you wanted the most complicated test done, I mean, you had to go to the government hospital, public run by the government. You could not get this kind of treatment from the private hospitals. So there is a decline in government funds. That's a tragedy. There are two areas where the state should not really shirk from its responsibility. One is education, and the other is health. Just consider this. Now the government has found a very novel way of asking the private sector to grant 30% of the seats in education, the schools, etc., to the poor children. The government is not really prepared to take upon itself the responsibility of rendering the educational and the health services in the country. Now by and large the promises are kept, made by these private hospitals are kept unfulfilled. I don't want to discuss a particular case, I decided that matter, but I just give you the facts and you decide for yourself. Somebody mentioned about Apollo earlier. What happened is that the Delhi High Court, the Delhi state invited proposal to establish a multidisciplinary super speciality hospital on a no profit no loss basis. 2 years later, the government leased prime property to Apollo Hospital Group on a token payment of 1 rupee a year, and then the hospital was to be a joint venture with the Delhi government. And by the terms of the agreement, the government provided 15 acres of land and 16 crores. In return, Apollo agreed to provide free services to patients occupying at least third of the 600 beds and 40% of those seeking outpatient care. This was not a charity or a corporate social responsibility. This was a matter of agreement. Ultimately, it turned out that the Apollo did not do it. I mean, they have got something. They say that the interpretation is that free treatment does not mean that they will. It only means that their doctors will see the patient and nothing else. All consumables will have to be paid. And when I asked the council how much this will cost, so they said for bypass, for a free patient, I'm not talking about the paid patients. He said for a bypass 2.5 lakhs, for a kidney transplant 17.5 lakhs. So this is how the free seats, free beds are interpreted. So anyway, I'm not right or wrong, I'm not on that. I just wanted to say that you cannot have a unregulated system on which there is no monitoring by the government. We have only two states where there is a state regulation. One is Maharashtra and the other is Delhi. And that is not about the monitoring of the private sector, but it's about the registration of the hospitals. Now there is a move to have this comprehensive legislations in the state of Tamil Nadu and Bihar. They are in the process of passing resolution. But there is opposition from the hospital owners and surprisingly also from the medical associations. Why there should be opposition to have some kind of, I am not saying some draconian regulations, but at least the people are entitled to know that what is happening in these hospitals where they are paying lakhs of rupees. So all hospitals which are public hospitals, which are where there is some sort of a support from the government at the initial stage or later, why they should not be operate in a transparent manner, why Right to Information Act should not be applied to these hospitals as well. As doctors, I mean, I think that the time has come that you have to think you are going to be simply carry with this to be part of the system, or you will also at times challenge the system and say that these are the practices which should not be permitted. This is the important issue which I think the medical fraternity is required to address. The rest is, there. Let us see, take the something called malpractices. Now cuts, my impression is, I talk to many doctors, is no longer regarded as a malpractice. Let us be, it is rooted, it is perpetuated by the medical profession. But what happens is see the consequence that because of there is a possibility of getting these kickbacks, there may be a tendency, I am not saying it is done in every case, but there may be a tendency to make reference, although it is unnecessary. So why it should not be made a official thing? Why it should not be shared on an official basis? Don't pretend that it doesn't exist. It exists. It is everybody does this. But then be transparent about it. So at least it will not lead to any adverse consequence for the patient. See, in the medical ethics, it is nowhere said that the two practitioners should not share their fees. Let us look at it in a pragmatic way, why they should not share. But this should not lead to unhealthy practices, that is what I feel. I personally feel that we should take Amir Khan's suggestion with some pinch of salt. So I don't think that he has grasped the problems in the medical healthcare in India. He is simply taking some, actually I called for the DVD from I'm heading a panel which looks into the complaints against the TV programs. So I called for the DVD and I watched the program. It is rather one-sided, and this is and then to support this proposition just because it is suggested from a high-profile actor will not be a correct approach. I personally feel that if there is something to be looked into this proposal, and really there should be committee of doctors, as somebody mentioned in the morning session, that those sitting in the government don't even know what is a generic drug and how they are going to decide this issue. So maybe there is some merit in that, but it should be looked into by setting up my suggestion is that the medical association should set up a committee to look into this, whether this is permissible. If you think of gaining the trust or retaining the trust of the consumers, please take these steps and just find out whether this is possible or whether it can be done at least partially. About the drug companies, that's a universal, drug companies are there to make profits. So as a result, there are kickbacks, there are stories of kickbacks. One doctor wrote about a story of Glaxo. So Glaxo director told this story to his officers in some conference. He said that a very prominent and well-known doctor in Mumbai, he demanded that he and his families travel to US, and even internal travel, it should be taken care of this company. So the director of that Glaxo told him, we have to follow this. because otherwise it might hurt our cells very badly. So I feel that really it is for the medical profession to say, I mean, they should pass resolution that under no circumstances this should be accepted. There might be a professional, as Dr. K.K. Agarwal put it, their professional services of the doctor may be needed by the drug company in order to understand the efficacy of the drug. But that should be on a regular official basis, and the doctor may work for the drug company. But barring that, I feel that the time has come that you must take see the difference between I can give you some instances where it can be compared. See, with the British organizations in Great Britain. Now, have you taken up causes of public interest on vital issues? I mean, at least I don't read about it, or there is not given much publicity to that. Then there are many vexing topics which you should take up. And why do you say that you don't have anything to do with the government? One of the speakers, honorable speakers, mentioned that why we should go to the government. Doctors have a lot of clout, believe me. I mean, you can really change the legislations, you can really persuade the government to pass appropriate legislations. So I think that your associations and the organization should take it. And you must have at least, this election system has ruined the Bar Council of India. I don't know much about the medical associations or medical council, but I feel the time has come that there should be at least 1/3 persons on that your bodies should be by invitation and not by election. This is one way of maintaining the high standards of your medical fraternity. See, as a child, even as a student, I grew with a lot of awe and respect for the medical profession and the doctors. In the court, however, I must say that slowly I started feeling that everything is not all well. I had to deal with some matters. Maybe I have some. I don't please. I'm not a expert in the medical profession. I don't mind even if my views are taken as a layman's views. I mean, like Mr. Amir Khan. Thank you.